Hello, it's me, Jeff, Africa's Last Dance, the channel where we're making it to the heart, from the old stodgy ego mind to the beautiful heart resonance, creating a new heart-centered world and a new heart-centered life for ourselves. That's what we're doing on this channel. That's the purpose of this channel. Okay, look at there's been an 1111 portal, which means that it's a fantastic time to shift things in your life. And I've been out to the lake a couple of times doing a breathing meditation thing, and I did it twice in 3 days, and it's quite a process, and when it was done, this is kind of an interesting story. I went. This is the place I do the work is kind of away from the lake or the reservoir, really. So I went down to the reservoir when I was done to look around, look at the lake. Basically, you can get a good view of the lake and just kind of get the peacefulness of a lake. You know how that is. There was a butterfly that was flying around me. It just kind of was kind of circling. You know how they fly in that kind of chaotic, almost random fashion, and it goes over to this bush, about 20 yards away. It was being buzzed by a damn yellow jacket too. Was kind of following it and trying to hassle it. You know how they flying things, crows do it to hawks. It just happens all the time. And then certain birds do it to crows. And I felt like shooting that thing out of the sky. That thing was a beautiful butterfly. So I go over there just to get a better look at it, and I go, I hope it doesn't fly away. It got close, and I got really close, and it didn't. It didn't fly away. So I just put my finger right underneath, and it got on my finger, and it was just kind of doing that thing where they kind of slowly turn their leaves, and I was checking it out. It was just beautiful, butterflies. I've fallen in love with butterflies. I mean, more than ever before, seemingly, and at least had beautiful, subtle markings and colors. And like I say, that's another. You want to understand the mind of God, or you want to kind of get an idea what the mind of God is like. Look at a butterfly. Seriously, it was beautiful, and it just sat there on my finger and just let me look at it, and it was totally okay with it, And I was, I thought that was a sign the universe was giving me, saying, it was happy with my efforts, what I was doing during this portal process, and the things I was renegotiating forward for myself. And it was quite wonderful to go through that experience. I kind of got it back to the leaf. I kind of talked, said a few things, put it back to the leaf, and it got off and flew away. But it was quite unusual, I think, and it was quite wonderful at the same time. It was kind of made me tickled me. It made me feel tickled, and blessed, really, for that to happen. That happens before, I think, probably to other people, but it was quite interesting, and I think indicative of the time I spent up there. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of review here. I've looked at since the last reviews, I've done a lot of videos. I've kind of been delinquent in this review process. So we're going to kind of do as much as we can, make it short, 2 or 3. I'm going to have to do maybe 3 different review videos, and just kind of give us a rehash and a capsulation of what we've been talking about all along, and kind of reset ourselves as we move forward from here. There's so many things. I haven't even hit meditation yet. I haven't even hit diet yet. It's I have a million ways I can go on this, so that's great. And like I say, this isn't really a good way to present this stuff. I'm going to have to come up with something else. But it's something, and it's good exercise for me to do this. It allows me to practice, talking, speaking, and getting things out there, learning ever more to talk a little more slowly, a little more spaciousness in that speech, and a little more meaning as I get to dropping to my heart center and begin to speak from there, which I necessarily haven't done yet, although interspersed there is some of that going on. Okay, now what I've said all along is this, that my consciousness, for me, has been, the ego-driven mind consciousness has been unacceptable and intolerable my entire life. Okay, I haven't liked it. I haven't liked it at all. I felt as though I've been a prisoner of this mind, and in a totally unsatisfactory state, and hypnotized to this 3D illusion creating all these delusions of things that are of relative importance that really aren't important at all. All right, that's been my mind state. Okay, that's been my postulate all along. And it's intolerable and no longer worthy of us as we move into the spiritual world, the spiritual dimension of the spiritual world of the fifth dimension, love-based unity consciousness, where we're all moving to, even as we speak. I spoke a little bit about what's going on around the planet last video. I'm going to tell you more. Well, I know a lot about what's going on right now, and it's a miracle. It's an amazing miracle what's going on right now, and I'll tell you more about it. I know you think I'm nuts for now, but you won't think I'm nuts in a few years. You understand me? 90% of the things that go through our brain are useless stuff. Okay, just things we keep ourselves occupied, automatic thoughts, negative thinking, conditioned thinking, memory, all these things that go on in our head that are useless old stuff. And it's all keeping us magnetized to our head, in our head, focused from our mind, and it is stopping us from dropping into a more magnetized heart situation and beginning to live life and perceive life and receive life from that heart chakra. Okay, I felt it before on psychedelics. Okay, that's what this is all about. I've seen this. I know it's there. And we're going after it. See, we're being very, very smart as we do this sort of thing. Okay, I'm getting relaxed into the thing. I took a swim today. Very, very nice. I only swim one day a week, maybe twice if I'm lucky, because the shoulder, I've kind of tweaked the shoulder. I can't swim the way I used to. But 1 or 2 days a week is fine. Okay, so then we come up with this, what about people who seem to be thriving in this life? What about people like Jobs or others that seem to be okay with everything I've just told you, that it's intolerable? You know, and so we're taking a look at that, and we understand that there are those people, a lot of people that are really doing good, solid things, some senseless, a lot of senseless activity that has no real value, but they're doing it anyway. But a lot of reasonably on-point things that are part of this, and that has to be accounted for and has to be admitted. Okay, they do. But in my opinion, they do these things, and they have to keep doing these things to keep themselves from knowing what we know, me and you know, what allows the form of consciousness we have been stuck with. Okay, egoic driven, ego mind consciousness. Okay, as long as they keep busy on relatively positive things, they keep that reality at bay. When they stop doing stuff, then they start to drop in vibration, because it becomes subtly aware to them that the state of consciousness that we're infected with is no good. Okay, so they keep themselves busy to keep them from knowing that fact, that in our ego minds we are living a useless life, and that the real movement is to the heart, and where everything, all spirituality stems from. Essentially our heart. God is essentially in our heart. Becoming a God-related human being, okay, not just an ego mind. An ego mind is a very thin veneer of consciousness that is, when we get to the other side, die, get the other side, get to our view, we're going to see then that the most important work there is to do is that consciousness work, that spiritual work, to pull us out of this mind, or 90% of the stuff that goes through the mind is no good. So we are admitting that there are people that are, I had examples, Dolly Parton, the Escapes from the Chateau couple there, that are living full lives, in their own right. But it's a win-loss situation, because they aren't really getting to the thing that is most important, answering the biggest of questions. When we think of living life to the fullest, we think of doing, like some big thing out there in life. Grab life and live it to the fullest, which is doing this, But what living life to the fullest to me means is being able to appreciate that butterfly. You know, the miracle of that butterfly, being able to appreciate a tree. I was walking one time, and there was a tree in fall, full bloom, full bore, in full fall form, almost a fireworks of colors: red, gold, purple, orange, and it was beautiful. It was just that right at that cusp of before the leaves started to shrink and fall off that tree, if in preparation for winter, and I looked at that tree and I go, well, you are, I told it what a magnificent tree and how beautiful it was. It was just what it wanted. It was practically bragging, and so proud of itself for looking so beautiful. And it wanted people, I could tell, it wanted people to look at it and stop for a moment and look at it and say, you're marvelous. You are one beautiful tree. And I appreciate all that you give us. But the question is, how many people saw that tree? You know what I mean? They're so busy doing what they're doing. Very few people, if any, saw that tree the way I saw it. I went back 2 days later to power walking through it, and it wasn't the same. It was just that one day the leaves had started to, start to discolor a little bit and start to curl and drop. But that one day it was like a proud baby, saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, and I saw it. I saw the consciousness of that tree on that day. See, that's what living is, too. When we say live life to the fullest, we mean that also, which doesn't mean doing this. It's a matter of consciousness. Live life, appreciate every little thing that comes your way. That's what living life to the fullest means also. I am sick of ego stuff. Just sick of all examples in this world of men living egoic lives. A lot of the men in corporations here in Silicon Valley are a little psychopathic the way they carry on ego-driven lives in ego drive energy, and mean and nasty, and trample over one another and compete with one another. And I have had enough of ego-driven lives. I don't care what you've done in life, okay? I don't. I want to know who you are. I want to know what sensibilities you have developed into. I've seen enough of egoic chefs. I was one, when you become a chef, you feel as though you have to be kind of an asshole and really direct asshole, really, because that's just part of the deal. So you play that role for a while. But I am sick of really the ego manifestations of this life, and I want something more. All right. So that's how we move forward. As I go around this life, I feel as though I am a little out of phase with the things going on. No one really sees me. I go through a grocery store. I see everybody in that store. Everybody. I look around, every dog, every kid. I'm more fully present in the moment than most people. They seem to be going through the store routine with their blinders on, like a little bit sleepwalking. And I feel as though I'm a little out of phase of that situation, which is good for me. That means I'm dropping out of the energetic 3D world and just starting to get lighter and float up to that 5D world. I feel as though I have good energy these days, generally speaking, although it comes and goes. But energy cast, I feel as though wherever I'm at, that the place is just a little bit better for me casting my energy, good, solid, healthy energy onto that situation. I think people benefit from me being in these situations and being around my energy. I honestly feel that. And you should feel that too, and you will one day when you take up the mantle I've taken up. We were addicted to doing this, okay? We become addicted to doing this, okay? We have to keep busy because that's what keeps us buoyed up. And when we stop doing it, then is when we realize, our life's a little bit senseless. I think addiction also is a sign, the fact that we get addicted to anything these days. You give us anything. Look at the phone. We have all these tools now that could be good, but we're addicted to them. So now it's a 50-50 proposition. Okay, we get addicted to anything. You name it, we're addicted to it. And That's the sign of what I'm telling you, is an incomplete consciousness. I don't think there's going to be addictions in the fifth dimension, unity, love-based consciousness, because we won't have that incompleteness, see? So the incompleteness we have is, the sign of that is the fact that we get addicted to things, okay? That's the sign. I was in Quadras Cafe, a heavy hitter cafe I was working at for a while, in the middle of Silicon Valley. A lot of big people go in there, with their importance, self-importance. I was sitting there and on the line looking out there, and all the people talking passionately about whatever they were doing, not even noticing the food practically they were eating. Also into what they were talking about with the people at the table. And you could say, look, all these people, God, they're really into what they're doing. What a lively, wonderful scene. And to a little bit extent, yes, but what I saw more than that was people were so hypnotized to what they were doing that they didn't even know anything else that was going on in that cafe. They had a tunnel vision in that addiction to what they were talking about to their clients or coworkers, and they weren't really aware of anything else. So I thought I saw that as a consciousness restriction in that cafe. Like I say, a lot of important people were in that cafe. Lawyers, doctors, business people. They become professionals, and then they become their craft. The things they do, they become them. Okay, they become a lawyer, they do lawyer things, they have lawyer friends, they talk lawyer things on the phone, they become complete lawyers. You can smell, you can practically tell a lawyer or a doctor when you're walking down the street. I can't anyway, because they have an energy around them. They become completely what they do, and that is counterproductive. They're a lawyer or a doctor or a businessman or a politician first and a human being second. See, that's what's wrong with the world, okay? The humanness in the best sense of the word is a secondary factor. They're robots that become addicted to the persona of the lawyer, the doctor, the businessman, so on and so forth. And it's a limited life, and they spend all their time and energy doing that one thing, and it's going to catch up with them at one point. They drink alcohol when they get home to alleviate the fact that they're addicted really to their respective fields. It keeps them, once again, they're robots really, addicted to doing this. It keeps them at bay. It keeps the fact that the lower vibrational state they're living in, it keeps that realization at bay. That's what the deal is there. Hunter Thompson syndrome, the thing where he's a good, solid writer, interesting character in a lot of ways. And he was writing, which is what he should have been doing. But without his writing, he was just a guy lost in consciousness, in ego-driven consciousness. He was a very, really sweet, guy, but all of a sudden, he became a no good son of a bitch. That's what I'm talking about. That's such a common thing. I don't even want to hear about it anymore. This is a guy bouncing around his ego mind and not knowing what the hell he's doing. One thing he's over here, one day he's over there, another day he's over here, and he really doesn't have the slightest idea what he's doing in his life as far as who he is, and his humanness is concerned. His God-related humanness is concerned. We in that state, we're all wondering. I've been wondering, when is my life going to happen? I was a good cook. I got into some good situations. But even still, then, when is life going to start happening for me? That's what my question has been throughout. When is my life going to start happening? And I know that's true for you also. When is your life going to start happening? Right? That's ego-minded, and life never happens. It's always coming, but it's never really happening because it's you're just out of phase of the moment. You're not really in the present moment in ego-driven consciousness. Okay, so that's one of the issues. What when is my life going to start happening? You know, it seems to be going by and I'm missing it. And if I get busy, I'm missing it. If I don't have anything to do, I'm still missing it. When is my life really going to start happening? It really starts happening in your heart. When you get into your heart, that's where all the riches are. That's where you can say, wow, my life is starting to happen. It's the beginning of everything. When you fall to the heart and you're living that heart space, it is the beginning of everything. You understand that? I've seen it. It's there. When you run across negativities from others, know how to process them. You know, when you run into things that there are manifestations of lower vibration of people around you, don't take it personally. Know how to process that so it doesn't affect you or take you down. Notice it that it just happens, and it's okay that it happens, and there's nothing wrong. Don't think of it as anything wrong. It's okay that this is happening, and you move on. Okay, but you don't judge it, and you don't let it weigh you down. You just accept it. You allow it. You forgive it. You surrender to it. You don't resist it. And you just handle it that way so it doesn't drag you down and makes real no difference to you. The more you get to the heart, the more you get to God-centered consciousness, things like that are going to bother you less and less and less and less. And won't that be great at that point? I don't really feel friendship, although it's getting a little bit better. I don't really feel friendship the way we used to feel when we were younger. In our grade schools, we used to have friends. We used to feel the friends and used to want to see our friends. But you know, as we get older, it's harder to get that. Okay, so I've instigated a program where I'm becoming premier number one friend to myself and a premier number one friend to my inner child. Okay, I'm starting those two friendships, and I've been that in the morning. The first thing I do is as I meditate, I go through routine and I say hello to my inner child and tell it how much I love it. And as I'm going through the day and encounter my weaknesses and things I don't like, I start to be a greater friend to myself in situations like that, and treat myself with more compassion and care and tenderness, and treat other than when you do that, you begin to treat others with more care and lovingness and tenderheartedness, humility too, and that's where we want to go. Feeling a friendship really is it's a heart quality. You can't feel friendship from a mind. Okay, you can talk to somebody till you're blue in the face, but you don't really get that friendship connection, because a friendship connection is a heart resonance thing. It's one heart resonance interacting and starting to blend and caressing each other from that heart energy space. That's what creates that bondingness and friendship, sense of kinship, sense of camaraderie, sense of brotherhoodness. That's not going to come from the mind. That comes from the heart, and that's what's missing. Okay, that's what's missing in our lives. Misunderstandings. Like I said before, don't make them wrong. Things like go through them graciously, using that all forgiveness, all surrender, all acceptance, all allowance, and no resistance. Use that. And don't let misunderstandings between you and other people bug you. You don't have to let it bug you, okay? We do that in our minds. We don't want to do that as we make our way to the hearts. Don't make adversaries of misunderstandings. Don't think, oh, he's my enemy, or oh God, he's there, he's them, he's over there, I'm over here. Don't do that. That's not going to take us to unity conscious. It's not going to take us there. So nobody's our adversary. Just learn how to accept misunderstandings and let it die, let it go. Just walk away. You don't have to make an adversary out of it. We want to be holistically collaborative in our relationships to the world and to friends, acquaintances, strangers. We want to accept them holistically as a collaborative experience, okay, rather than a competitive experience. Do you see? Do you see that? Nothing wrong when you in any situation when they don't work out. I was supposed to, I was trying to be friends with somebody. It doesn't work out. Don't blame anybody, even if they've wronged you in the process, which has happened. Don't blame anybody. It just has happened, and accept it and move on. Don't make it wrong. Okay, don't make anything wrong. Just casually, observationally, detach in a detached manner. Look at it, and be okay with it. All right. I think I'm making a lot of progress because even in these apartments right here, the older people, the kids running around, they go to apartments where no kids are allowed or this or that, and kids can be a little bit too much sometimes. But I love the appeal of a child's laughter. You know what I mean? It's okay with me, and is within reason. It can get to be too much, but I love it's a beautiful thing to a child's laughter. So I love having kids around, and that's just one little example of how I'm progressing. I don't need to have kids shut up or anything. Leo, even downstairs. I love to hear the appeal of a child's laughter. It's a precious, beautiful, beautiful thing. That tells me a lot about where I am going. And I think that's the first review. Okay, these are all things we've gone over, and we're just hitting them one last time. Once again, friendship is built with heart resonance. Okay, so as we get to the heart, out of the mind to get closer to the heart, we're going to be able to feel friendship. Once again, I know you're suffering from that too. We all try to create kinship and brotherhood and friendship, which is basis for unity consciousness. Difficult to do as we stay separated in our minds. Easier to do when we fall to the heart. We want to be a community, okay? And, we're falling short of that because we're in our separated minds. Okay, and as we get closer to the heart-centered human beings, and that center opens up, that's going to return to us, and we're going to become more of a community. Because it's hard to get that done. It really is. And we try. It's hard really to get that done, even for me. Really, you have to. Okay, I got to go over here and be a community. I'd rather just sit here and do whatever. But that's what we have looking forward to us. Okay, let's hold it right here there. I am Jeff Africa, citizen of Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America. I stand unafraid. And these four, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, Paramahansa Yogananda, Jeshua Ben Joseph, these four I have enlisted. They're in me. And we're all going to get me to my heart-centered and open that heart center and become a heart-centered human being, creating a brand new life. I love these entities. I love these beings. A brand new life, heart-centered life. I'm going to be an example to you. And when you see it happens, I'm going to let you know when it does. You're going to be able to tell. You're going to want to do it too. That is the way out of prison. That's the way out of jail. That's the way of all this senselessness, all this hypnotism, all these delusions, all this 90% of useless stuff going on in our mind. We're going to get rid of all that stuff and become a new life, a new beginning. It's the beginning of everything, the treasure of the heart. Thank you so much. Good. This is good stuff. I like it. I got to go, though, because it's going to be clicking off. But okay, that's our first review. We're going to probably do 3 or 4 of these. And I think you appreciate that, too. Just kind of hitting them all once again. Thanks so very, very much. See you next time.